The Yukon may have been the home of the Klondike Gold Rush well over 100 years ago, but it seems that that rush only scratched the surface of what the territory has to offer. The region is seemingly experiencing a revival in gold discoveries, with names such as Snowline Gold and Sitka Gold having major recent discoveries. And yet, it appears there is more to be found, with Prospector Metals earlier this month becoming the latest name to make a major discovery in the region. Let's dive in. They're calling it the $82 million drill hole after the latest assay results released from Prospector sent their equity up 284% to close at $1.14 on the day, while adding $82 million to the company's market cap, which for a single drill hole is pretty impressive. Internally, Prospector CEO Rob Carpenter is referring to it as the best gold hole he's ever drilled, and also the best copper hole he's ever drilled.
It's not only is it the best gold hole I've ever drilled, it's the best copper hole I've ever drilled too.
That commentary is noteworthy, given the fact Rob comes to Prospector as the ex-CEO of Kaminak Resources, who discovered the coffee project in the Yukon before their $520 million buyout by Goldcorp. So you could say that the results released by Prospector on October 1st were, well, not too shabby. And accompanying a 51-minute long webinar held by Carpenter and Prospector VP of Exploration Jody Gibson further helped seal the deal to investors, with the duo providing additional insights to the discovery and answering all the questions that investors have on the topic. In short, it was a case study on exactly how to talk to the markets following a major discovery being made. Okay, enough beating around the bush. What did the results look like? The big hole in question here is hole ML2531. Yes, it was the 31st hole drilled this year. The hole, which was the first ever drilled in the region of the ML property, intersected headline grades of 13.79 grams per ton gold, 38.1 grams per ton silver, and 1.84% copper over a whopping 44 meters from a depth of just 62 meters, including 4.6 grams per ton gold, 74.2 grams per ton silver, and 3.8% copper over 14 meters. The hole also hit 21.9 grams per ton gold, 25.6 grams per ton silver, and 1.1% copper over 25 meters from a depth of 81 meters, including 38 grams per ton gold, 5 grams per ton silver, and 0.2% copper over 13 meters. Both of those intercepts were in a freshly discovered zone referred to as TESS, and Prospector was quite upfront about the results here, identifying that a couple sub-intervals skewed the larger intercept results, so they provided the meter-by-meter results, which was equally impressive. That same hole then also intersected a zone referred to as the North Vein, where intercepts included 5.7 grams per ton gold, 22.2 grams per ton silver, and 1.16% copper over 7.4 meters from a depth of 138 meters. So you could say it was a strong hole. The big discovery here obviously was the test zone, which overall was intersected from 62 meters through 205 meters downhole. This was a blind hole, due to a thin layer of tailless being above the surface projection of mineralization. The hole was designed to test for multiple stacked or parallel gold-bearing structures that were coincident with favorable surface geochemistry, LiDAR, and interestingly, satellite imagery, while also representing the first encounter of VG on the property. Well referred to as blind, geological mapping and sampling here is said to have traced the trend for roughly 500 meters on surface. Perhaps even more significantly, after the discovery was made, further mapping and prospecting is said to have subsequently identified numerous surface occurrences on the ML property with similar signatures, with prospectors suggesting that the potential for multiple test zone discoveries remains high, which is incredible considering the results at hand here. The key word here seems to be J-aerosite, with the test zone seemingly following a J-aerosite alteration with the zone pervasively oxidized at surface, which can quite literally be seen using Google Maps, suggesting what else could exist on site here when compared to the rest of the property. As far as determining the scale of the zone, Prospector was able to get a second drill hole into the zone this year, ML25032, the assays for which are still pending. That hole is said to have intersected the zone at 38 meters depth, after which it encountered roughly 50 meters of strong alteration and fracturing. The zone, however, is said to be more significantly oxidized and bleached at this depth due to the proximity to surface. While assays are pending for that second hole, the test zone is currently believed to be steeply dipping, subparallel to the north vein, and remains open to depth along strike. The mineralization style, meanwhile, is said to be intrusion related, but Prospector doesn't want to put a label on it just yet.
As far as model goes, like again, people say, well, is it skarn? Is it IRGS? It's, we're treating this as a structurally controlled gold deposit, and we're using those structural corridors as our key targeting and exploration criteria. As far as a model, we don't know what it is, but we think it's a really good example of whatever it is. And we like it.
The short of it is there are far more unknowns than there are knowns at this point, and Prospector doesn't want to box themselves into a corner by getting too far ahead of their skis post-discovery. So what's to happen next for Prospector? Well, hopefully next year we will see more discovery, with the 2025 drill program now wrapped up with a total of 39 holes drilled for an aggregate 6,700 meters. Assays from just 12 of those holes have now been released. But if we're being honest, we suspect some of the best results have now been made public. As for further exploration, this region of the world is suitable for exploration basically from May through to September as a result of the weather. But they make up for it with the 24-hour sunlight that basically allows for round-the-clock exploration during those summer months. It's obviously a bit early here to be asking for specifics on the next drill program, especially when just 12 of 39 holes have even had assays returned. But in talking to Prospector, which we did have a call with them, it's a no-brainer that they're going to further drill test the test zone. They also intend to stay true to form and continue prospecting across the entire ML property in search of what other treasure the claims might hold. And next year's exploration program is expected to be larger than the 2024 and 2025 programs combined. We should also mention here that their major investor, B2 Gold, is clearly excited by the results and is said to be quite involved in the entire exploration process on site, helping with the development strategy with some of their own guys in the field locally. B2 seems to know the region quite well. They were also involved with a little company in the region called Snowline. So we'll leave the audience up to speculate on where this could be heading. Okay, so let's wrap it up. Obviously, it's extremely early days here. We're talking about a discovery that's as fresh as it gets, with the assays for second hole still pending, and no further exploration results from the test zone beyond that second hole expected until pretty well a year from now. So Prospector has a long ways to go in terms of development. But Carpenter knows what he's doing here. And for what it's worth, this discovery hole is better than the last discovery hole that he's known for. And that last one led to $500 million buyout. Prospector is on the correct side of the Lassonde curve here, and they will be for a while yet. But investors should also recognize this is a very, very early stage. On that front, we also highly recommend that you take the time to sit down and watch the webinar Prospector put out following the announcement of the discovery, because Rob and Jody go into great detail in terms of what specifically they found, and quite frankly, it's a masterclass in terms of talking to the market. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Let us know what you think of this story. If you have any thoughts on it, please let us know in the comment section. Also, if there's other stories you want us to cover, as always, let us know. We're always looking for ideas. And if you want more mining content, check out our website over at thedeepdive.ca. All right, everybody, thanks for watching.